Let me ask you an honest question. How many times have you heard this advice? Make a budget, track your expenses, control your spending. It sounds responsible. It sounds smart. It sounds like the right thing to do. But now ask yourself this. How many people do you personally know who have been budgeting for years, yet are still struggling financially? Still stressed? Still worried? Still living paycheck to paycheck? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Budgeting alone will never make you rich. In fact, many people who budget perfectly still fail financially. Not because budgeting is useless, but because budgeting is misunderstood. In this video, we're going to break down why budgeting is not enough, what budgeting can and cannot do, and what actually builds wealth in the real world. Welcome to Wealth Principles Lab, where we don't sell motivation. We teach how money really works. Let's be very clear from the beginning. Budgeting is not useless. Budgeting is important. But budgeting has limits. Budgeting does exactly one thing well. It helps you control spending. That's it. Budget shows you where your money is going, how much you are spending, what you can reduce or cut. Budgeting helps you stop leaking money through unnecessary expenses, poor habits, and unconscious spending. And this is valuable. But here's the key point most people miss. Budgeting controls money. It does not grow money. And wealth is not built by control alone. Control prevents mistakes. Growth creates freedom. Most basic financial advice sounds like this. Track your expenses, cut unnecessary spending, avoid luxury, be disciplined. Why does almost all advice stop here? Because budgeting advice is simple, safe, easy to explain, low risk. It doesn't challenge people. It doesn't require new skills. It doesn't involve uncertainty. But here's the problem. Simple advice is not always complete advice. Budgeting is often presented as the solution, when in reality it is only the foundation. You cannot budget your way into wealth if your income never grows and your assets never increase. Here is the harsh truth most people avoid. You can only cut expenses so much. There is a limit to saving. You still need food, housing, transport, healthcare, a basic quality of life. At some point, budgeting stops being productive and starts becoming painful. You can't cut your way to wealth forever. There is a ceiling on how much you can save, but no ceiling on how much you can grow. Wealth is built on growth, not permanent restriction. Many people do everything right. They budget strictly. They avoid unnecessary spending. They live frugally for years. Yet after 10, 20, or even 30 years, they still don't feel wealthy. Why? Because frugality without growth leads to financial survival, not financial freedom. Being careful with money prevents disasters. But it does not create abundance. Wealth is built when money works for you, not when you only protect it. This is where budgeting truly fails. Inflation quietly increases the cost of everything: food, rent, education, healthcare. You can budget perfectly and still lose purchasing power every year. If your money is not growing faster than inflation, you are falling behind even while doing everything right. Budgeting helps you manage today's expenses. It does nothing to protect tomorrow's value. This is why people budget for decades and still feel financially weaker later in life. Many people budget like this. Income gives expenses, gives savings, and then they stop. Their savings sit in a bank account earning very little. Meanwhile, inflation keeps rising, purchasing power keeps falling. Saving without investing is not progress, it is stagnation. Investing is what turns savings into wealth. Budgeting helps you find money to invest, but investing is what actually changes your future. Section 7. Why budgeting creates a false sense of progress. This is a psychological trap. When people budget, they feel responsible, they feel disciplined, they feel on track, but feeling disciplined is not the same as building wealth. You can feel productive while making zero long-term progress. This false sense of progress delays real action, learning, investing, building assets. Increasing income comfort is dangerous in finance. Section 8. Budgeting does not change your income. This is critical. Budgeting manages existing money. Does not. Increase income, create new income streams, build leverage if your income stays the same. And expenses rise with inflation. Budgeting becomes harder every year. You cannot solve an income problem with expense control alone. Growth requires expansion, not just control. Section 9. The real purpose of a budget. Important. Here's the truth most people never hear. A budget is not a wealth-building tool. A budget is a support tool. Its real purpose is to stop waste, create clarity, free up capital so that you can invest, build assets, increase income. Budgeting prepares the ground. It does not grow the tree. Section 10. What actually makes people rich if budgeting alone doesn't create wealth? What does? Wealth is built through income growth, investing, asset ownership, compounding time. People who become wealthy use budgets to control spending but focus more on growth and restriction. They ask, how can my money work harder? Not how can I cut more? Section 11. The difference between poor budgeting and smart budgeting. Poor budgeting focuses on cutting. Joy saying no to everything. Survival mode. Smart budgeting focuses on funding investments, building long-term systems. Supporting growth goals. A smart budget includes investing as a fixed expense, learning as a priority, asset building. If your budget doesn't include growth, it is incomplete. Section 12. Why rich people still budget but differently. Here's something important. Wealthy people do budget, but not the way most people do. They budget to allocate capital, maximize returns, manage cash flow. They don't budget to survive. They budget to optimize. Budgeting is a tool. The outcome depends on how you use it. Section 13. The danger of extreme budgeting. Extreme budgeting often leads to burnout, frustration, guilt, financial anxiety. People eventually break discipline and swing into overspending. Balance matters. Wealth is a long-term game. Your system must be sustainable. Section 14. What you should do instead. Important here is the smarter approach. Budget to control, waste build. Emergency fund, invest consistently, increase income skills. Build assets. Let compounding work. Budgeting is step 1, not the finish line. Section 15. Real-world example. Simple. The people earn the same income. Person A. Budgets perfectly, saves everything, never invests. Person B. Budgets reasonably, invests, consistently builds assets. After 20 years, person A is careful but stressed. Person B has financial freedom, same income, different strategy. Section 16. Why this truth makes people uncomfortable. People like budgeting advice because it feels safe. Growth requires learning, risk, patience, action. Not everyone wants that responsibility. But avoiding growth guarantees stagnation. Section 17. What budgeting should lead to. Budgeting should lead to investing, ownership, leverage, financial confidence. If budgeting doesn't move you toward growth, it is holding you back. Section 18. Putting it all together, budgeting helps you stop mistakes, but wealth requires systems, assets, compounding. Control is step 1. Growth is step 2. Skipping growth keeps people stuck forever. Budgeting will not make you rich. It will make you organized. Okay, an organization is valuable, but it is not wealth. Wealth is built when money grows, assets work, and time compounds in your favor. This channel, Wealth Principles Lab, exists to teach what most advice leaves out. If you want real financial education, growth-focused money thinking, long-term wealth strategies, subscribe to Wealth Principles Lab. Because controlling money is important, but growing money is what changes lives.